Good afternoon. I'm Michael Williams. I'm the chairman of Vortex Metals. Vikas Ranjan was supposed to be giving this presentation, but due to some circumstances in Canada, he wasn't able to make it. I'm a founder of this particular company. We're located in Oaxaca, Mexico, and I'll quickly take you through some of the highlights of the company. We've recently raised $4 million. We believe it's a ground floor investment. It would be classified as a greenfields exploration. And by that, I mean there hasn't been a previous discovery there. In our industry, it seems that a lot of the easy deposits over the years have been discovered. And we're using newer technologies. We're going deeper. Going in more remote areas to find new ore bodies. Juniors like ours are the de facto exploration wing of the producers and the majors. In this case, it was an area in Oaxaca that's recently been opened up in the last 10 years. And my co-founder of the company was a gentleman by the name of David Jones. David was very well known in the industry as an explorationist that made key discoveries that eventually became mines. The most famous being Los Filos in the area to the north of us in the Guerrero Gold Belt, where David's models for skarn mineralization became the Los Filos mine. When he was there as project geologist with Teck, he discovered 4 million ounces. Teck, I think, has 9 million currently on the balance sheet, and there's over 50 million ounces in that particular region. And that all stemmed from David Jones's thesis and work in geological acumen. Our projects that David's put together are drill ready, and we're just working on the permitting, which is a key thing in Mexico, and it's very I wouldn't use the word difficult, but it takes a long time in Oaxaca. We think we're almost through that process, and we'll be drilling some of the key targets that David came up with over the past 10 years. So once, as I mentioned, Teck has found 7.43 million ounces from David's work, and the region, which used his model, 52 million. This is where our projects are located. They're located in the state of Oaxaca, which is lower than the Guerrero Gold Belt. It's in an underexplored volcanogenic massive sulfide belt. We call it VMS. And one of our projects is Zaachila, the other is Riqueza Marina. What we like about this area on top of the geology is we're close to infrastructure, and that's one of the key elements, especially when you're looking for base metals like we are, copper, gold. We're close to rail. We're close to a deep sea port, and more importantly, we're also close to energy. And the energy stems from a windmill farm, which is just down the road. And one of the key things in the mining industry going forward is the ESG element. And I think given that we're going to be accessing, hopefully, power from the windmills will go a long way in helping us formally permit. Just focusing in a little closer. So we have multiple high-grade drill targets. The drill permitting is underway. We expect to be drilling both of these projects Q2, Q3 of next year. And as I mentioned, we have access to infrastructure, and we've been given local support. So just to touch quickly on the Riqueza Marina project, it's copper and gold hosted. It is a large system. We have over 12,000 hectares, and our drill targets are ready to go. We're just waiting from the federal government for the drill permits. And we have 5 high potential areas hosted within that particular target. Those are the geological slides. The one on the right, if you see, called the Rhyolite Dome, we did a big geophysical program there, and we've come up with a very significant geophysical target. And on top of it, we've coupled it with, we've discovered mineralization at surface. A lot of times when you find these geological targets, they tend to be a mafic dike and they're not mineralized. You know, just to put some numbers to it, 9 times out of 10, when you have good geophysical anomalies like this, it doesn't turn into a discovery. I think in this case, the odds are significantly higher, given that we found mineralization at surface that marries itself proximal to where this anomaly is. And that's the first project we'd like to drill. And it's big, so if we do hit, it could be very significant. That rock on the right is called the black smoker. Now, black smokers are found on the ocean floor. They're what precipitate the minerals out, and they're just like a little mini volcano vent. And what's significant with that one is we found it on the land. Usually when you see them like that, they're in the Smithsonian Institute or Museum of Natural Science. We've actually found one close to where we think the mineralization is. So from a geological point of view, that is a very good tenant. Now, the other interesting thing that I like about the project is that when you go from our northern area to our eastern area to our western area is about 2 to 3 kilometers. When major companies are looking for belts like this, they tend to look for things that are multi-kilometer, and we have mineralization at surface. So that's an indication it could be a big system, and we think it is. The precedent to the north, there are some big mines there, so we hope we follow in that path. And then you can see some of the grades we found on surface. Some are in oxidized rocks, some are in sulfides. We're targeting the sulfides, but the grades are exceedingly high at this point for what we're seeing, and it's large. So those are, once again, key factors on a project like this. These are the kind of projects that make big exploration discoveries that move markets. This is a slide. It's just showing a comparable to the San Nicolas gravity anomaly. It's larger than San Nicolas. It looks like it's closer to surface, but we haven't put any drill holes in it. They've drilled theirs and have come up with what would be perceived as economic mineralization. And they're just looking at putting this into production, and that's a tech asset. So our other project there is Zaachila. It's a big system. One of our advisors is a fellow named Jim Franklin. Jim Franklin is thought of as, if he's not the utmost VMS expert in the world, he's in the top 2. He consults to all the major base metal companies, especially on volcanogenic massive sulfides. He feels this is a Noranda-style camp, given the mineralization. The significance is Noranda is one of the biggest VMS camps in the world. Not to say this will be, but it has the potential. We have 3,200 mineral lease tied up, and we have a 5-kilometer trend of mineralization. And our geochemical work is lining up with our geophysical work, which is lining up with our soil sampling. So it's as good as it gets at this stage, but what you need is a drill, and then the drill determines where we go from there. But once again, we've got a lot of high-grade mineralization at surface. You rarely see this these days, but given the fact that there's been work done on it for 10 years and it was an underexplored terrain, we've been able to identify these targets. And the key element will be the drill always is, as we say, it's the truth machine in the industry, and we look forward to drilling that next year. 60 million shares outstanding, including 66 million warrants, and founders and insiders have 28 million shares, which we paid for. Rob Johansing was David's friend. He's doing all the geological work. He's a geologist that made discoveries. He spent his whole career in Mexico. We understand it. We understand the local communities. So we've got the right team to go forward. We just need to get the final permits, and then we're good to go. And we look forward to results. So thank you very much, and have a good afternoon.